Imagine buying something cheap, only to discover it was never meant to save you money. It was meant to keep you paying, forever. Some traps don't look like traps. They look like convenience. They look like opportunity. They look free. In a world built on subscriptions and instant access, free has become one of the most powerful words ever sold. Because when something costs nothing today, we rarely stop to ask what it might cost tomorrow. Millions accept free trials every day, believing they are in control. But control can be an illusion. And sometimes, the easiest thing to start becomes the hardest thing to stop. This is the free trial illusion, and why nothing was charged until it was too late. Free trials are everywhere. They appear in the quiet moments of your day, while scrolling late at night, installing a new app, or trying to unlock something that promises to make life easier. A streaming platform offers unlimited entertainment. A fitness app promises a better body. A meditation tool promises peace of mind. A productivity app promises control over your time. Each one presents the same invitation. Try it free. No charge today. Cancel anytime. Full access instantly. And in that moment, it doesn't feel like a decision. It feels like an opportunity. Because saying yes costs nothing. And when something feels free, we rarely stop to question its true price. So we accept. We continue. We move forward, believing we are still in control. The decision doesn't feel important. There's no contract to read, no long forms to complete, no immediate payment to consider. Just a button, waiting to be tapped. Start free trial. And with a single touch, the barrier disappears. Access unlocked. Features revealed. Premium unlocked instantly. No friction. No hesitation. No sense of risk. Because when nothing is taken from you, it feels like nothing was given away. But in that quiet exchange, something has already changed. You've entered a system designed for convenience. A system designed for continuity. A system designed to keep going, long after you stop paying attention. At first, it feels worth it. The service works exactly as promised. Movies stream without interruption. Workouts feel guided and structured. Tasks become organized. Your schedule feels manageable. For a moment, life feels smoother. You explore the features. You discover tools you didn't know you needed. You imagine yourself using it every day. And maybe you tell yourself, this might actually be worth paying for. But convenience has a quiet side effect. The easier something becomes, the less we think about it. The less we think about it, the more it fades into the background. And when something fades into the background, we stop paying attention to it at all. Then life speeds up again. Messages arrive. Deadlines move closer. Responsibilities multiply. The days begin to feel shorter. What once felt organized now feels overwhelming. You stop exploring the app. You stop opening it daily, then weekly. Soon, you don't open it at all. Not because you chose to stop, but because something else demanded your attention. And attention is limited. When new priorities arrive, old intentions quietly disappear. The app remains installed. The subscription remains active. And somewhere in the background, the system continues running, unnoticed, unquestioned, uninterrupted. While your attention is elsewhere, time continues moving forward. The trial period keeps counting down, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. No alarms sound. No urgent warnings appear. No moment announces the change. There is no clear line between free and paid. Just a quiet transition. Access remains uninterrupted. Nothing looks different. Nothing feels different. And that is what makes it easy to miss. Because the moment that mattered most was the moment you weren't looking. Weeks pass. Nothing feels different. Then one day, a notification appears. A small charge. $9.99. It doesn't feel alarming. It doesn't feel urgent. It feels insignificant. So you swipe it away and continue your day. Because small numbers rarely trigger concern. And what feels small today is easy to forget tomorrow. The next month, it happens again. Another charge. Then another. Then another. The amount stays the same. Predictable. Routine. Quiet. Subscriptions are designed to feel invisible. Small enough to ignore. Automatic enough to forget. Consistent enough to feel normal. And what feels normal rarely gets questioned. Then one day, you pause. Maybe you're reviewing your expenses. Maybe your balance feels lower than expected. Maybe something simply feels off. So you scroll, and you begin to see them, month after month. Small charges, repeating, for something you barely use. Maybe haven't opened in weeks, or months. And suddenly the total feels larger than it ever looked before. Not because it increased, but because you finally saw it. At first, it feels like an oversight, a forgotten cancellation, a simple mistake. But the deeper you look, the clearer it becomes. This isn't random. It's design. Free trials remove friction from signing up and introduce friction when leaving. Joining takes seconds. Canceling can take minutes or longer, because convenience encourages entry and friction encourages delay, and delay generates revenue. Joining was effortless. A single tap, and access was granted. No forms, no waiting, no resistance. But leaving feels different. The cancel option isn't where you expect it to be. Menus lead to submenus. Settings lead to more settings. What took seconds to start now takes effort to stop. Because convenience was designed for entry, not for exit. And every extra step between you and cancellation increases the chance you postpone it. To cancel, you must navigate a maze. Account settings, subscription settings, billing settings. Confirm your password. Verify your email. Confirm again. Some services require cancellation on a desktop, even if you subscribed on your phone. Others hide the cancel option entirely, not to trap you, but to slow you down. Because the longer you hesitate, the longer the subscription continues. This system doesn't rely on force. It relies on behavior. Human beings delay small tasks. Canceling a subscription feels minor, unimportant, something you can do later. And later becomes tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. Not because you chose to keep paying, but because you postponed choosing to stop. Every day, your brain makes thousands of decisions. By the end of the day, your mental energy is gone. Canceling a subscription becomes one decision too many. So you tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow arrives with new priorities, new distractions, new demands on your attention, and the cancellation waits, quietly, until the next billing cycle arrives. $10 doesn't feel like much. Neither does 15 or 20. Small charges feel harmless. They don't interrupt your day. They don't trigger alarm. They don't demand attention. But time keeps moving, and those small amounts keep adding up, month after month, quietly, until one day the total feels heavier than it ever looked before. Not because the charge increased, but because time did. What feels insignificant in the moment becomes significant over time. $10 a month becomes $120 a year. Add multiple subscriptions, and the total grows faster than expected. Money leaves in small, forgettable amounts, but it accumulates into something very real. Because gradual loss rarely feels urgent, until it becomes impossible to ignore. This system doesn't depend on everyone forgetting. It only needs a percentage. Millions of people sign up. A fraction forget to cancel. Across a global audience, That fraction becomes enormous revenue. Billions are generated not through deception, but through continuity, through habit, through inattention, through time. Eventually, you decide to cancel. You open the app, navigate the settings, locate the subscription, and just as you prepare to leave, the system hesitates. Are you sure? Would you prefer a discount? Pause instead of cancel? Try one more month? The exit is no longer silent, because the moment you leave, retention begins. The offers feel reasonable. 25% off. Extended access. A reminder of what you'll lose. These prompts are not random. They trigger loss aversion. Our fear of giving something up, even something we rarely use. And in that moment of hesitation, many choose to stay, not because they need the service, but because leaving suddenly feels like losing. Over time, subscriptions stop feeling like decisions. They become defaults, background processes in the rhythm of daily life. You don't think about them. You don't review them. You don't question them. They simply continue. Humans rarely change defaults, not because we agree with them, but because they require effort to interrupt. And the longer something runs in the background, the more permanent it begins to feel. The system was never designed to rush you. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't create urgency. It waits, quietly, because time works in its favor. The longer you delay, the more normal the payments feel. The more normal they feel, the less likely you are to question them. And the cycle continues, without resistance. At some point, you realize what happened. You didn't actively choose to keep paying. You simply never chose to stop. There was no dramatic moment, no clear turning point, just a series of small delays that quietly became a long commitment, and what felt temporary became ongoing. Free trials promise convenience, and convenience is powerful, but convenience can become inertia. Silence can become a bill, and the smallest charges often hide the biggest costs, not because they are forced upon you, but because they continue unnoticed. Stay aware, stay intentional, because sometimes nothing was charged until it was too late.